talking about the oil boom at that time was good, but it didn't actually um, it, it it didn't actually reflect in the kind of investment or facilities that musicians would have wanted at that time, because the focus was on other areas, not music. You understand? Obviously, you know that Fela in that period of time was actually struggling with the government at that time. So the kind of struggle that Fela and Nicola Kuti had with the government at that time didn't reflect well on other musicians, you understand, at that time, because not only were people like us looked at or frowned at because of our choice of music was um, because of our choice of music was the frowning at us was also born from fellas anti-government, stance. You understand, which made it very difficult for us musicians. What influenced me into my music at that time wasn't was kind of accidental. It was accidental in the sense that when I moved to Lagos from my for my secondary school education, I moved into a different kind of culture that was more Western than where I was coming from. You understand? I'm from the almost I'm from, I don't have to put it, I'm from Ibadan. You understand? Which is a little, it's an hour and a half away from Lagos. So the culture was quite different. But when I got to, if I was in Ibadan, I'd probably be doing Afro. I'd be doing the type of Fela or Orlando Julius. I don't know if you know Orlando Julius, because the influence would have been greater for me there. But when I moved to Lagos, I got into a new kind of orientation, which was more Western. So, and incidentally, my uncle, whom I lived with in Lagos, had a collection of records that were Johnny Nash, Earth, Wind and Fire, you know, Michael Jackson, all the Western. So I was now in a new home with new kind of music. And I have access to the record changer, if you know what I mean. That's what it's called then. So when it's not at home, I'm having a good time listening to this record and even recording them on the tape. You understand? You get? And when I go to school, sometimes I'm listening to them. I'm having a good time, you know. So that influence really got into me. In Lagos, it's Jimmy Cliff, it's Johnny Nash, it's Michael Jackson. You understand? Nothing indigenous as such, and less of Afro. In Lagos, I was exposed to less of Afro, but a whole lot more of the Western genre. You understand? Which actually now became embedded in me. So I was before I came to Lagos from Ibadan. I knew I do a lot of King Sonny Ade. I did a lot of that on the fly, you know, and Ebenezer Obey on the fly. In fact, I enjoy one thing. I can remember very vividly. I enjoy mixing, those songs. I sing half of Sonny and half of Obey, and I do some nice, somersault in between, and I really did enjoy that. But when I get to Lagos, it was a different scenario for me. It was all disco. You understand? I'm the kind of person that when my uncle is sleeping, I sneak out. I'm that kind of person. I sneak out to go to clubs. I sneak out to go to friends' party.
What were the clubs like?
Clubs before I became a musician. You understand? It's not the real pay-in club kind of thing. It was a makeshift kind of clubs, that they're here today and they're over there tomorrow kind of thing. We just gather and just expand. We just expend our energy, dance, drink, and sneak back under the fence, home, kind of. So I wasn't that kind of. I was. I did a lot of rough stuff. So and that's the kind of Lagos life I grew up with. So it's not obvious that when I finish my secondary school, it's obvious where I'm heading towards. I have to think or nothing else. So it's quite interesting. I think I've lost the question somewhere. What's the question?
That was it.
The question actually brought to mind my uncle's uh, small tape device. It's massive. It's small but massive. It's good. So I loaded it with all sorts of Western music, funk, pop, all sorts, reggae, on in there. So what I do is that any party that I go to, if that party is not jumping, I've got the remedy in my pocket. So what I do is I say, move aside, DJ. I've got the cure. So all I just do is I plug in because I've got, I'm very technical. I've got cables in my pocket. So if you don't have the phono cable, I've got the phono cable. If you don't have the mini jack, I've got the mini jack. I've got everything. You understand? So I make the party jump. When the party is not jumping, I'm that guy. When I'm in a party, the party must jump because I've got the remedy in my pocket. So when I bring it out, it's got loads of songs in it, and I've got a lot of cassettes extra. So it's non-stop. So obviously, my first album, I have to reflect that. I'm not an unofficial DJ. I'm making an album, so it's got to be for DJs. So I actually make sure that that's put there because that's used to be my identity. So they know me when I'm here. They say, "Dizzy boy, come on, we gotta jump." It's okay. It's interesting. When my first album was released, the record company that I signed on to, EMI, did me a whole lot of good. Now, this is what they did. I went on a media tour. My media tour was bang on. I don't think there's anything like that, but maybe obviously you guys know what a media tour is. So when you have a new album, you go around every length and breadth of the country to introduce yourself to the DJs, to the TV stations, and have loads of interviews. And that was a good break for me. You understand? So that took 2 weeks of getting to every state and every TV station and every newspaper to grant interview and do all this sort of, So it was nice. So that was what, by the time I finished all that, the record just took off on its own credit, on its own credibility. You understand? Good album, good PR work, and the rest is history. On the Saturday night wrap, we had a party in the studio, a lot of drinks, beer, and a lot of, sorry, drugs. I don't. It's not good. All right. So,
We can all be forgiven sometimes.
so that's it.
Alright.
So it was a party.
Yeah.
It was a party. I don't do drugs. Obviously, I'm sorry about that. I don't. I'm glad I don't. But it was a party with everything. Everybody getting high and making all the noise, and you can hear all the people shouting and making noise, and It was quite a nice one. Nice one. That's big up for Tony Okoroji there. Good idea. It's a title track. The title track, Excuse Baby, actually, did very, very well. Because it starts to do with excusing baby. Everybody wants to excuse their baby, even if you don't know how to chat your girl. You can just simply put on the album. Excuse me, baby. I know obviously it's done the chatting for you. So it really actually did quite well. Yeah. I think within 3 months of releasing Excuse Me Baby, because of it was quite successful. We started straight away working on the second album, and at that time I was quite busy as well. I mean, yes, it's that reminds me that I would like to put it this way. I had quite a number of shows, like international shows. Like we have the likes of what's their name? Whispers comes to Nigeria, and I did the opening show for them and all that. And Evelyn Champagne King came and did. I mean, this was quite a good break for me as well to really help me to enlarge my fan base. Even well into other countries of Africa as well. When Excuse Me Baby came out, did quite well amongst the literary, masses, because I did a lot of campuses shows. So, but we still need to expand into other areas of to appeal to, the other areas of those are like the older, not leaving the young, but appealing to the older masses. So what we did was, me be my friend was what we used to gain that appeal. So I had a word with Tony Okoroji, who produced it. We both looked at it that how can we get the older people to like me? So we now has now started to write new songs, you know, focusing it into the older masses. So that's why Be My Friend came in, especially Baby Kilode, which was
Sold
which
80,000,
made
didn't it?
which made a bigger impact and made me to become an household name even in Nigeria was the song. You understand? So we now started to work on that, and it took us about 9 months.
That seems
That's why we were able to do it the following year, because this was 82. Be My Friend was 83. You understand? So 83, we were ready with more matured music. You understand? We're trying to get to mature, you know, record buyers. So and that was it. And then obviously we hit that jackpot, and it really did well. It did. It was quite an interesting thing. Yeah.
Was that your first experience of like fame, like really? Because with Baby Killer Day and the kind of hit that was, were you getting recognised? Were you like?
Yeah, more recognition outside the campuses, obviously, and a whole lot more concerts in not clubs this time. Now I was doing proper halls, proper venue, for bigger audience, outside the campuses, which was around the country. Was quite good. It was interesting at that time. Mhm. Be My Friend is quite a huge one, and Be My Friend was quite well received as well. And we have other songs like Conga Mama. Conga Mama was quite experimental. Actually, tells more about the kind of my likings, because I do thrive on experimental songwriting, which Conga Mama actually um, enabled me uh, uh, to showcase. So we thank God.
Emoji?
Omoge on it was quite beautiful. We didn't look much into it. I used Omoge as one of another experimental song piece because I'm taking it away from juju that I was used to in my earlier influence, and I bringing it into R&B. You understand, or pop genre, and I looked at that, and I try and do a marriage between my local dialect or language. You understand, marrying that to pop. You understand, that was what Omoge offered me. But I knew I made sure that the melody actually, I put great effort to making sure that the melody actually flow properly and married properly with the kind of instrumentation that I could feel at the back of my head. You understand? And Tony Okoroji was quite complimentary in producing it appropriately without missing the pop flavor. You understand? Very, very skillful work there. Thank you very much. Thank you. And this is sweet music. And this also got a whole lot of oh, this really got me thinking a lot, and brought back a whole lot of memory. I haven't got the Be My Friend album yet, unfortunately. But see, this entire song here was the concept and the writing of this song was when I was at the university. It's called Ife, University of Ife, now known as Obafemi Awolowo University. The whole song was written on campus. Here, this one. Actually, this is Kunga Mama is actually here, not in Be My Friend. Actually, so this was written on. I've never told anyone this. Nobody knew why I wrote this song. I wrote the song entirely on the campus. You understand? I would take my tape recorder. I would go well into the to the bush. I'll take a long stroll. I think I did that for about 2 months, taking long strolls. So each stroll back and forth produces a number of songs. And then we have to sieve through those songs. Myself and Tony Okoroji said, that one's good, this one's not good, knock that off. So eventually, we were able to come up with all of this. So this is a very new experience and really offered me the opportunity to use a whole lot more of my own idea. There are other ideas that Tony Okoroji brought into the other. But I think here I'm beginning to have more power, exercise a little more power. Yeah, autonomy. Yeah, so obviously this is something that I really enjoy. I've enjoyed working on.
Can you tell us about the name Dizzy K? How that came about?
Dizzy K actually got that when I was in the Form 1 of my secondary school, or moving to Lagos. Now, I'm open to new culture, and the culture is kind of, I can see people dressing a whole lot, everybody was looking a lot sharper than where I've come from. In Lagos, I said, wow, you guys, you're looking sharp, man. I want to be sharp too. So obviously, but there's something about me. that I never knew until my class teacher came into the classroom one day and took a long look at me and said, I've been looking at you. How come you look dizzy every time as if you're sleeping? And that was it. Then the rest of the classroom guys, started banging the table, the locker, boom, 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 boom. Dizzy! And I think it was cute, They called me Dizzy, and I think Dizzy is cute. Okay. Then I put Dizzy on my blazer. No one could complain about that. No. Because when I'm leaving home, my blazer is on my arm, and they don't know what I've written on it. So that's it. So when I'm out, when I get out of house, I put on my blazer, and that's it. I'm a Dizzy boy again. Not Dizzy at home, but Dizzy on the road, and Dizzy at school. And then that was Tony Okoji asked that key question when we were conceptualizing the name. He said, the name Dizzy Cave, Kunle Falola doesn't sound artistic. Is there any name at all that you've been called before? That's a good question. You just took the word out of my mouth. Dizzy boy. I said, you've been Dizzy boy and your friends know you are Dizzy boy? I said, they do, of course. I said, okay, why don't you put you as Dizzy, then put the K instead of Kunle, K, and then Falola at the end of it, and that's it. Yeah, I've got great ideas about music, and I want to thank Sweaty Button, Sticky Button. I want to thank Sticky Buttons for this opportunity. This is wonderful, and I see you guys as young and growing. I want to grow with you. I mean, in the sense musically, because God's given me great ideas, and my ideas are always bubbling inside of me, and I want to put out greater music that would have future appeal, and talk about 22nd century, 23rd century, even up to 25th century and beyond. You understand? It's going to be bang on, when you listen to it. And you guys, I'm going to be part of all that what the Lord has in store for you guys. And I really want to, I'm looking forward to bigger and wonderful, more greater albums, even than this one, Yeah.
Great answer.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
While you're sweaty, can I get
Sweaty body.
Dizzy, I just
Tiny little blooper at the end.
Yeah.
Sweaty button.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean it.
No, it's funny.
I don't know how important this is. No, I don't think it's that important. I've seen it. Anyway, thank you very much. And